Hello, and a very warm welcome to today's podcast show. I'm super excited to have a conversation with Dr. Liow. Dr. Liow is the scientific director at Virtus Fertility Centre in Singapore. He has a background, of course, in embryology, but also he studied veterinary as his first master and doctor. And then he did a doctor of philosophy as well before going into the reproductive biology even more. He was also part of the team who developed the first ICSI baby that was born in Asia in 1994. He wrote numerous papers and research studies and is still conducting research studies in embryology and the scientific work he does. The talks and the conversations we had were always beautiful, very mindful, respectful, and very, very inspiring. I can't wait for him to inspire you today. Hello, Dr. Liow. It's so great to have you here today.
Yes, hi, Tanya. It's good to see you too. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join me in this conversation. I can't wait to get your inspirations and your sharing of, the latest news and whatever. But before we dive into embryology, technology, and reproductive medicine, can you share with me what's your morning ritual? How do you like to start your day?
Well, okay. Morning ritual. Of course, I wake up early in the morning. All right. They have my good breakfast, come in to the lab, and of course, have a scan of my lab and look at what the schedule like. And then, of course, after that, I have a discussion with my group of embryologists. And from there, there's any questions or anything for the day, and so on and so forth. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start early too, right?
Yeah, I start early. Yeah.
And can I ask you, in terms of like you venturing into art, I know that you have done a master's and I think a doctorate as well in veterinary, which was a completely different career. What prompted you actually to change into the reproductive medicine for humans?
Okay. Oh, well, it's very interesting because when I finished my A levels, actually, all the while I wanted to go into medicine, but unfortunately, there was no vacancy for me because certain things, and I was given to do vet medicine. So I was very curious as a young man. What is vet medicine? So I asked my lecturer, what is it? Oh, it's something to do with animals. Okay. So I went in there. Uh, in fact, I had no regrets because the curriculum follows the American style of veterinary medicine training. So in the end, I got a degree doctor of veterinary medicine, and then I went into when I left the faculty graduated, then I went to private practice and I was looking after breeder farms, chicken breeder farms, where we import breeders from US, get them to fertilize the eggs and hatch these eggs in a big incubator. Imagine, very big, yeah. So every 2 days of the week, I got about few thousands of these chicks and then sold it to the farmers. So every year we produce about 2 million chicks to sell. So yeah, so I was with there for about in this farm thing about 3 years. Then after a while, my mind started to question a bit. Then one day I spoke to my wife. Then my wife said, "Hey, you spoke like a farmer." Then, oh, that's it. Now I got to go for my postgraduate course. So that's how I went in to National University of Singapore. And actually, I was interested in genetics. So I went to my former professor and he said, "Yeah, come in as a research assistant and work and so I should study at the same time." But when I went there was no vacancy over, his quota is finished. So he said, "Why not I introduce you to another professor? He requires some uh, assistant." So went straight into it, reproductive medicine. So biology. So from there, I had to start from the beginning. making cocktails of culture medium, stimulate mice, get the embryos growing, and so on and so forth, or all those things. So in fact, I was asked to make needles, glass needles for ICSI, which was those times there's no commercial. So all these things, and then it's good for me. So so I started from there. I learned a lot, and then I got my master's in. I went to laser, so I was sent overseas to learn laser. So I'm one of the people who set up all this laser microscope, sister hatching, and all those things like that. So my master's is in reproductive biology on laser. Then after that, I worked further. I went into I did my PhD in molecular genetics and Y chromosome because I'm interested in the male. So not much studies have been done on the male side, more on the female. So why not on the genetics of the Y chromosome, which is very critical. So that's how I got my PhD in NUS for molecular genetics in Y chromosome for male infertility. Then, of course, in between during this period, I trained a lot of doctors and embryologists in Asia when they came in for the masters in clinical embryology. So now I have a lot of my students around the region now. They're doing very well. I'm so proud of them.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I remember how you shared that. Are you still making them actually do those glass things manually now, or are they now relieved from it?
No more. Because nowadays, you buy them. They're now handmade by some commercial people. So it's easy and it's more consistent. So I don't have the headache of looking into QC and all this. No, yeah.
Yes. It's amazing. You have so many hats on. And what I find so inspiring is that you are such a giving person, because you not only have all the students that you are helping with, but also you are, I think you are part of the work committee at Aspire as well. You are involved in so many research studies as well, some of them led by yourself, that you are presenting all around the world in these conferences. How much time are you still spending in Singapore?
Well, I try to. In fact, I'm getting more and more busy now. In fact, last year I've been traveling quite a lot, giving talks and conducting workshops. I try to scale down this year, but apparently I think I still have to travel because a lot of invitations going up for me now. And as for Aspire, it's an honor that they recognize my contribution. They included me into the SIG, Special Interest Group in Embryology. And for this term, 2023 to 25, I'm the co-chair. And the next term, they wanted to put me as a chair, but I said no, because of my work commitment. Why not let the current chair be the continued? I be the co-chair. And probably the next term, the term after the third term, then I may take over the chair. So this is what's happening. So I'm happy to contribute and share with the people. But I decided to get my current chair to continue because he's doing a wonderful job.
Oh, great.
And also, he's young and energetic and social media savvy. So I let him go and do it. I'm just happy to be a co-chair. And probably the third term, if they offer, I may take over the chair.
That's wonderful. That's really, really great.
Yeah.
Yes. So besides having these incredible research studies, can you share a little bit about more maybe the technology that you are using in your laboratory together with your team, because you are doing such amazing work and you're helping so many couples. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Okay. Basically, what we do here is that, now when the patients go and see their fertility specialist, it's more of the specialist look at the clinical aspect of it on the, let's say, the hormones and all those things, and then do the stimulation. So what they do is that after that, they collect the eggs, and then they give to me, and the sperm the husband gave to me. And then we So we are so-called as embryologists, always tell my staff and my students that you are the doctors in the lab. So you don't treat everyone the same. You look at the clinical situation and then you find a solution how to treat them, each one, each problem. So that's how we start. So from there, we look at the egg quality and look at the sperm quality and how best we can improve it. Now, currently what we do here is that in IVF itself, we don't do IVF in terms of by mixing the sperm and the egg together in the dish, because we believe that because most of our patients have already gone through a few cycles elsewhere when they come in, so they have some problems. So if you were to do IVF, the chance of getting fertilization from this IVF will be quite low and maybe zero, and you may not be able to salvage it the next time, the next day when it's poor fertilization. So what we do is that we do so-called ICSI, but this ICSI is the modified one is called IMSI, IMSI. So the thing is that the difference between IMSI and ICSI is that IMSI uses a very high magnification to look at the sperm morphology, the shape, to select the healthiest sperm to inject into the egg. Because with that aspect, because why we do that is that there are a lot of issues currently where we have encountering with men with us. They're having, not in terms of the sperm count and all those things, it's more on the DNA quality of the sperm. So the DNA quality of the sperm can affect the pregnancy outcome and also implantation, and also affect the first 3 months of pregnancy. That is very critical, because if the DNA of the sperm that goes in has a higher damage rate, then there's a higher chance of pregnancy loss or failed implantation in the first 3 months. So that's by using this high magnification for select the sperm called IMSI, you have to reduce that risk and also to minimize the egg to correct the damaged sperm DNA, and that also helps to improve the quality of the egg, quality of the embryo that develops from it, and a chance of a better outcome for the patient.
Yes, definitely.
That is the sperm, yeah.
Yes. And did I understand correctly that you now apply this technology as a default for all of the fertilizations that you do?
Yes, it's a default.
Okay.
So we have been doing that since I started Virtus here, helped to set up Virtus here in 2015, and it's been very successful throughout now until now also. And after about 3 years of doing that, then we say, why not we look into looking at the egg quality? So the good thing about the working in Virtus here is that we have very good communication with the doctors and feedback to each other, and how best we customize or improve the outcome by looking at the egg quality and the stimulation and everything. So now patients over here, the egg quality, when you look at it, we use another technology, looking at what we call polarized light microscopy, where we look at the internal structure of the egg. They're responsible for the genetic, the chromosome separation. So by looking at that, and we can tell what's the chance of this egg giving you a good outcome. So that is called the polarized light microscopy technology. So with these two combination, then we hope to get a good outcome. And now, again, sorry, I've talked a lot. And also now we grow the embryos in a time-lapse incubator, which is the latest one, right? So in the time-lapse incubator, means from day 0 to day 5 or day 6 of the embryo development, the embryo is not disturbed. We do not need to take it out and check every day to look for development, because there's a camera recording the development throughout. And from there, we can just click onto the computer. We can see real-time development. And also it helps to review which embryo has a better can give you a better outcome, and select the best embryo for transfer. So this is all in the latest technology. And of course, we always tell my students and my staff, treat the man as rough as possible. Treat the sperm like a man, as rough as possible. Treat the egg like as tender loving care as much, so that you can get a good outcome. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I know how much compassion you actually bring into this rather scientific environment that, for people who do not work in a laboratory, laboratories always seem so technical
Yeah.
and kind of like very neutral. And I know yours is super clean as well because you adapt that policy into it. But it's great to hear that you and your team, you apply so much tender loving care into the
Yes.
work that you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, for those who may not be very familiar from day 2 or day 0 culturing all the way to day 5, for you and your team, you are actually aspiring to go all the way to day 5, right? What's the biggest difference from a day 2 or a day 3 embryo versus a day 5 embryo? Maybe for those who are not so familiar, can you?
Okay. All right. So you see, when you fertilize egg, it's just like one cell. It's just like a dot. Yeah. So now 24 hours later means the 2 days, day 2 after egg collection, it should, by 48 hours, you should have a 4-cell stage, 4 cell in the embryo. And by third day, it should be 8 cell. Yeah. And then fourth day, a clump of cells from 16 to 32. And then by day 5, you can see a very specialized embryo already, whereby there are 2 groups of cells. One block of cells will give rise to the baby. The other group of cell network of cells will give rise to the placenta, and that involves implantation. So now, if you were to transfer day 2 or day 3, this period into the woman, now the embryo still needs to grow 2 more days or 2 or 3 days to reach that blastocyst stage, yeah, which is just pre-implantation. So it's called pre-implantation. So the problem is it may look very good on day 3, but the embryo may not able to reach the day 5 because there may be some genetic factors that inhibit the embryo to go further. But if the embryo could reach the day 5 blastocyst or day 6, so there's a good chance the embryo has overcome most of its barriers in the early development, and there's a good chance for the embryo to implant. So that's why the policy here is always going for the blastocyst, and it's the gold standard for all good laboratories in the world to have that. Yeah.
Yes. And in other words, I also understand that there is a natural selection of those embryos who actually wouldn't make it. And so the selection is really focusing on those embryos that give the highest chance of a possible pregnancy.
Yes, exactly.
Also helping lots of women actually not to experience maybe a miscarriage that would have happened anyway with a day 3 embryo that wouldn't have made it to a day 5.
Correct.
Yeah. So I know that you take a really special approach at Virtus Fertility Centre in Singapore by also allowing your patients to have a conversation with you and your team, which is very unique because in many clinics, they would not only, but they would see primarily the IVF doctor and the nurses, but not necessarily the team of embryologists that is behind the scene, right? And does a lot of work to make things happen. So can I ask you, in terms of this conversation, can you share a little bit, like what would be your discussion points in these conversations with your patients?
Okay, the discussion point is that there are 2 types of patients. One who has, let's say, about to start their first cycle. So probably, most of the time, the ladies who like to go to inquire Dr. Google and get all the information, and all this information may not be accurate and cause a lot of anxiety. So when they come in, because when I start this center, this is one of the sessions that we go through, and one of this, of course, as you mentioned, going through the lab side with the nurses and then financial account side. That one is the embryologist. Of course, the third one is very important, is the emotional support which you provide. Yeah, which is also very, very good, important. So now for the lab side, we will bring through with a PowerPoint slides and to show to the couple what are the steps, what we do here, and when you spend about half an hour or 1 hour, and we are very patient. There's no time limit. We just make sure that they're at the end of the discussion. I don't call it counseling. They are clear what they have to go through. Yeah. And as for those patients who have undergone few failed cycles elsewhere, and also, and most likely, most of the time, the couple may not have satisfactory answers and a lot of question marks from the doctors or from other clinics. So when they come in here, then they will be allowed to go through with their reports and everything, go through the cycles with them, and then try to answer as many questions as they can. And then hopefully they are clear what they're going to go through the next cycle. So at least they know that, okay, this is what you're going to do for me. And all my questions, all my doubts have been cleared. I'm happy to continue. Yeah. So these are the two things that we try to sort of help them navigate the next part.
Yes, which is really, really great, because I think that's exactly what couples are going through when they are facing these fertility struggles, and when it's not successful in other clinics, or maybe it has not been successful previously, to really get answers to their questions. So how long does usually such a session last that you do when you meet up with them?
Well, if I were to do for them, sometimes my staff will have to stop me. Dr. Liow is already past 1 hour, 1.5 hours that other people are waiting for it. So to me, is that most important is that I want them to understand, clear what they're going to go through the next step. So to me, understanding is more important, what they know. Yeah. So generally, they do around 45 minutes to 1 hour, but to me, it may cross more than that. So,
Yes.
Yes.
So is it still a bit of a topic for you?
Yes.
But
yes.
I know this is simply your passion, right?
Yes. So because my passion is, I'm very passionate about helping couples, because, they have gone through so much, and then, we will do our best to help them achieve what they want. And also, if, let's say, unfortunately, after going through there, after trying so many cycles, and they couldn't get a good outcome, but they know at least what they have gone through, and then there's a closure for them. This is very important.
Yes. I actually just wanted to touch on that topic of closure. Is that something that you would bring up as well from time to time, that you would experience that with some of your patients as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've come across a few whereby we went through with them everything, because these patients have gone through many, many failed cycles. And then, okay, this is what we do here. And I give them a good understanding. And sometimes when they fail, and then we sit down with the doctor and the embryologist and the couple, we bring them through their cycle, what could have done, what happened, and from there, sometimes they may just want to go for an alternate, another next journey, either go for a donor or adoption, or they just want to have a closure. Okay, that's it. We have done our best. That's it. They're happy about that. Yeah.
Yes. And from a psychological point of view, I can say that this is like the greatest gift that you can give to them, because it helps them really to find better closure, and also to find some peace in that grief, when they can access someone like you, who really takes the time and goes through every single step again, and can explain them that, this is basically what you have done and the options that you gave them. And when they find out that this is maybe the end now of this journey for them. Yeah. How do you deal with patients that are still grieving the loss that they may have actually faced in a previous cycle or an embryo transfer, and they come back a month later or 2 months later and insist that they want to do another embryo transfer? Are you having special discussions with them as well on that, or how do you deal with that?
Well, usually, these patients, usually, if they want to start again, they usually go to their fertility specialist. But sometimes they will quietly call me and want to discuss with me. So I will tell them, okay, maybe not every cycle is different. Maybe you can go again for the next cycle and see what happens. And I say, no, who knows? Miracle can happen. Yeah. Just give them a bit of hope. Hope is there, but not too much hope, but more realistic. And hopefully at the end of that cycle, if it's successful, that's good for them. If it's not, then at least to me, they have a closure. At least they try again, and then it's failed. Then there's a closure for them, and then they can go about their lives after that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Do you see a difference of how men and women would go into the IVF process from then when you see them at the very beginning, at the point of hormone stimulation, all the way to embryo transfer?
Well, in the beginning, when I first started work, first early years, there were some men who were very egoistic. They will say, "This is not my problem." We came in last time used to be to person contact, not like Zoom now, or sometimes now we going back person to person. So the husband will come in. Why do I want to waste my time sitting down with my wife and discuss with you this? So I said, okay, you don't have time. Let's go through a bit. So I said, then the man will say, I have only 10 minutes to spare. I'm very busy. So once I go through that, also, the time is up. No, continue. So at the end of the discussion, the man knows the issue, and after that, he's very supportive of his wife. Now, what I'm seeing now, there's a change in the male perspective now. All the men who come here with their wives are very supportive of the wife. Now, I'm so happy with that. Yeah. Then some people blame that it's their problem that contribute to the wife's problem. Yeah.
And what do you think it changed? What changed?
I do not know. Probably these men are younger generation, not the older generation. So now they are more like, gender equality is almost there, and they realize because they're seeing their wife suffering, of course they said they want to provide support for that. To her.
And what you see like in practice in terms of like contribution to infertility? Is it equally spread out between men and women, or do you see that there is also an increase of both being actually involved into infertility factors?
Okay, just looking at it, like of course nowadays, if you look at the ladies, most of them are now involved in career development and everything. So for them, career is more important now. So by the time they are more stable, they are in the mid-30s and they want to start a family, probably that could be quite difficult for them. Because of the age quality may not be as good as before, or they have other underlying clinical conditions. Now, even now, I see on the men's side, the younger couple, the men have good sperm count, motility, everything. But I'm seeing now more of the sperm quality drops, even with young men. So in terms of the shape of the sperm, now usually the sperm has, let's say, a 5-micron head shape. I'm seeing sperm that are smaller and smaller now. And also there are a lot of men who are having DNA damage in their sperm. So these could be because of the lifestyle and environmental issues that they are impacting them now. So you are seeing more of these men issues now, even in young men now.
And what do you think are those lifestyle factors that would contribute the most?
I think the lifestyle factors could be because in Singapore, if you look at it, Singapore is a highly stressed society. Yeah, so all the men, we have to work late, and then the diet, and most of them are eating the processed food, and also lack of sleep, and also because a lot of people pack things in plastic containers, that is a major impact. Because plastics, I'm sure you must have in the news that what called microplastics in the blood and nanoplastics in the blood. So all these things, and these plastics are what they call endocrine disruptors. So it disrupts the normal hormone profile, and that may affect the quality of the sperm or the eggs in the body. Yeah.
Yes. Would the same apply for women as well?
I believe so.
Yes. Okay. And what is your advice to these couples on how to reverse certain things? And can it be reversed? That would be my question, really.
It may take time to reverse. Let's say, try not to pack things in plastic or drink water from plastic bottles. Instead, go back to the olden ways where you pack your things in what we call metal containers or glass containers, and also good for the sustainability of the climate, all those things, environment, and also have some do a bit of exercise. Most of us are very lay back because you spend a lot of time sitting down in front of a computer and work, and then that lack of exercise also can affect the health and also the quality of the gametes, the sperm or the egg. Having more healthy diet and taking more those diet that rich in antioxidants like vitamin C, E, or CoQ enzyme that can help to remove those free oxygen radicals that damage the DNA, not only the body cells but the sperm itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of
Yeah.
things can be done, but that will take time, over a few months or maybe a year.
Yes. Yes. Understand. And what are in the conversations when you meet up with them, what would be like the biggest challenges that you can see and pick up sometimes that these couples bring to the table?
I think the biggest challenge is that most of the time they say that look, especially for those who have gone through failed cycles before, they say, oh, okay, I have some embryos for transfer but didn't get pregnant. So then I say, why not you show me all the results and all the tests done? Especially I'm looking for the man's sperm, and most of the time it's the man's sperm that cause the problem.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the DNA quality of the sperm. Yeah. So
yes.
so that's the more way challenge. But happy to say that once we identified the problem, then we try to solve it using other methods, and then it improved the outcome for most of our patients here. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's wonderful. And I think it's great to hear that you have all the technology in place to really help them with what the root cause could be of those problems, right?
Mm,
That's really amazing. And what would be in your view, because you see them when they come into the procedure room, what would be the right mindset that a woman or also a man should actually bring into this IVF program so that they feel calm or they feel positive or they feel like grounded, whatever it is that you see. Like when I see such a couple, I say they are on a good track. This is working well for them.
yeah. Well, of course, it's good that because as we always have this the condition is that before the couple start the program, they have to go through all this the counseling. So that helps to prepare their mind
Mm,
and now go for talking to the embryologist, talking to the counselor like you. So you prepare them mentally what to expect. It will be more positive.
mm.
So when they go in their program, and the eggs will retrieve and everything, the woman felt very more settled, and also they feel that, oh, this is the place that can help me to
Mm,
achieve that outcome. Yeah,
mm.
because you have to show them that you are helping them, giving them the best help that we can give. That's
Yeah,
what they want.
yeah,
That's what they want. Yeah. And
yes, yes,
yeah, and then the husband, of course, will be there and then support, and then the husband also, understand this is they are they're getting the best help that we could give them. So
yes.
great
And
thought.
And this is a feedback that we often receive that it seems that IVF is a lot about the woman and the men are kind of like reduced to like producing the sample for the fertilization, right, with their sperms. How do you apply inclusiveness so that husbands really feel that they are part of this?
Of course, I have to pinpoint the sperm because
Mm,
because always tell them, okay, in the beginning, I mean, in your biology class, your biology teacher will have told you that the job of the sperm is just to get in a fertilized egg, finish, right? But no, I said the sperm has a lot of things to do. It has a major impact on the outcome. And it has a major impact on at least for the first 3 months of pregnancy. So the quality of the sperm is very, very important. That was sort of wake them up a bit and they had to do something. Yeah.
And it makes them feel more part of it as well.
Yes.
Yes. And indeed, I have seen actually men who would more easily then apply their nutrition or their exercises as well once they hear how they can actually be part of it as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Now, I remember a conversation that we once had where you were sharing that a personality of an embryo actually already shows under the microscope. And I was wondering, can you share a little bit more? Because I know how in tune you are with your work and with the eggs and the sperms that you are seeing for fertilization, to the point where I think you also mentioned that you can see almost like the halo of the sperm with your eyes, and you can really sense which one is the right one. Can you maybe share a little bit more about this intuitive part that you have developed?
I do not know. Probably it's very difficult to explain. Yeah, I think it's probably too much of my imagination in there. Well, I don't know. It's intuitive. Yeah, probably not. I hope every embryologist will have that type of intuition, but I think it's probably because over many years of doing research work and then doing clinical work, that sort of build up into my currently what I'm doing and help me to look at, okay, this embryo is okay. This embryo may give up the baby that comes up will be a dancer or be a something else, or all these things like that. So maybe it's not.
Yes, yes. Yes, and that's the kind of work that intuition is something so personal, right? Because it's not factual numbers. It's something that you can feel, and either it's there or not. And
Yes.
certain ways, on certain days, maybe it's more apparent than on others.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you have been working in this field for so many years, and you must have seen so many couples and so many wonderful babies. And I'm always shy of asking, but is there a certain story or a certain experience that you had that really touched your heart and that was very special to you in your career?
Oh yeah. For one of this is I have one couple. They have gone through many failed cycles. At least when they came to see me, they were already gone to 8 failed cycles elsewhere. They have tried overseas. They have tried local clinics and not successful. So I look at the situation, the problem, and discuss with the doctor how best we can help them, and also discuss with the couple what could be the issue. And we're happy to say that they have gone through 1 baby to 2 babies and 3 babies, and now they are the eldest one is already close to about maybe almost reaching a teenager age now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
so happy for them. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
So they have gone through so many. So they felt very good, and then also I feel very good and for them, and we are still in communication.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I saw in your office that you keep actually the baby photos there on a wall as well, right?
Oh well,
For
yeah, that's
those
the
who
job of the
share it.
nurse. Yeah, that's the job of the nurse to put on
Yes,
in the office. Yeah.
yes, yes. So great. Um, in in your everyday life, you have sometimes quite stressful situations as well, probably, although you come across as a very calm person. But how do you actually do self-care for yourself as well? Because I imagine that sometimes it can be also quite emotional when you see these couples struggling with their fertility challenges. So how do you actually apply self-care to yourself so that you can actually project and also give every day the compassion and the support that these couples need?
Okay. One thing my wife has been saying is that I'm so passionate about my work that I will never retire. Okay. Now, of course, my interest, how I do all these things to relieve myself of the work sometimes is to photography. That's my hobby. Uh, I mean, since young, I love to do art and everything. Then my father introduced, gave me a camera. Then from there, I started off with photography. And any time when I have time for myself, I will go out and do some photography on more of nature photography, like looking at tiny insects, take pictures of flowers, and some of the landscape and all those things like that. So when you look at those images and you come back, you feel very relieved, and then you can next day you can start go back to your good work and more relaxed and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there also some self-care practice or some little moments during the day on how you actually can recharge or take a breather?
What I do is that I I'll exercise when I go to the gym. Now the next time you come to see me, I will have lost a bit of the weight, not so plump. Yeah, and I mean not every day, but do some light exercise, and sometimes do some meditation before I go to bed. Yeah, that I think about 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, or during work if I'm a bit tired. So at lunchtime, you may see me closing my eyes in my office for about 5 to 10 minutes. That helps to clear my mind and my body of any stress, and I can concentrate on my work.
Yeah, that's actually such a healthy way on how to do it. I just came across a research study yesterday that I was reading about the importance of doing nothing for 5 to 10 minutes per day. Yeah, to really help the brain actually to gain clarity and focus again for the work that we are doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So my last question, Dr. Liow, would be if you would have a day completely to yourself, how would you spend that?
Well, I can spend a day exploring a new place that's more in the nature. I'll go to a nice forest or rivers and look at tiny insects or flowers to take pictures. And at the end of the day, I come back and review, such a nice piece of work.
Yes. Yeah. Nature is really the place to go for you, where you can recharge your batteries, right?
Yes.
Oh, so beautiful. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Liow, for taking the time today to join me in this conversation. It was so inspiring, as always, when we have these conversations. And I can't wait to meet you at Aspire.
Sure. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you and also to share with your patients or whoever is listening now. And of course, I hope to meet you soon. And I'm sure you're one of the speakers there, right? In the SIG group?
I will be there at
the main conference.
Yes, exactly.
That's good. All right, good.
Yes.
It's coming soon. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Fertility Counselor podcast. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. If you need support or have any questions, reach out to us via email at inquiries@counselingconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media @Fertility Connects. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about us and the services we offer, head to www.fertilityconnects.com. And if you're looking for support beyond fertility, visit www.counselingconnects.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.